Alright, so Shadow made a video of something that I didn't even realize happened in the movie. So apparently the D-Rex cried, and I just completely blanked out and didn't even notice it. So Shadow's gonna just open up why it happened and just explain to us what caused it. So let's just get straight to it. By the way, make sure to go check out Shadow, give some support, some love. Let's just get to the video.
We all know the infamous D-Rex from Jurassic World Rebirth, the ultimate villain, a monster of pure destruction. But what if we got it all wrong? What if the rampage wasn't born of malice, but of something far more, well, human, rather than dinosaur? Because in one scene in Jurassic World Rebirth, we can actually see the D-Rex crying. Now, at first glance, I totally missed this, but then watching it back, it started to get me thinking, and it started to get me seeing the D-Rex in a whole new light. Why would this genetically modified mutant be crying? And then it got me thinking of something the director actually said. Gareth Edwards wanted us to feel sorry for the D-Rex, but in the movie, we didn't really see this at all. There was no scenes which actually made me feel sorry for the D-Rex, apart from this one scene which was completely glossed over.
I don't remember this.
Tears in his eyes. But just from this one scene, I've deduced an entire theory on the D-Rex. His backstory, his upbringing, the abuse is suffered, and everything else in between up until the point where it escapes and then was left abandoned on that island for what, 15 years or so? You see, there's far more going on with this D-Rex than meets the eye, and it first starts with this creation. We know the flashback scene takes place in 2010. At this point, Jurassic World has been operational for 5 years. The Scorpius Rex was also already made, because the Scorpius Rex was made in 2009. So this D-Rex would have been made when they first opened Jurassic World in 2005/6. That would give it time to grow into its current state in 2010. And I know I'm going to stop you before we get any further, because you could say to me, well, the D-Rex was actually a mutant at their attempt to make a Tyrannosaurus Rex. That just doesn't make sense. They already have a Tyrannosaurus Rex in Rexy. She was cloned in what, the late 1980s, and was already in Jurassic World at that point? They didn't need to clone another one. They could have literally just taken Rexy's DNA if they needed to clone one from scratch. They weren't making another T-Rex from scratch. That's completely wrong. This D-Rex was a mutant of something else, which leads into the crying, which I'll come back to in a second. You see, you have to remember, why didn't InGen just simply put this D-Rex out of his misery? Well, the movie tells us that answer immediately. They literally say that because these dinosaurs are so expensive, why would they just put it out of its misery? It wouldn't happen. So instead, they just...
I literally said that the monetary value of these creatures, these hybrids, is so much that putting them out would literally be wasting millions potentially in value. Like, it's just so much wasted if it's something that failed. Like, they probably just gonna keep it alive, use it, and experiment and research why what they wanted didn't succeed, and then just work on that to make a better version. Messed up though.
To experiment on this mutant, which is tragic in itself. Now, as I said earlier, the director Gareth Edwards wanted us to feel sorry for this beast. This was never portrayed in the movie at all, but in the toy line, when the D-Rex actually does a roar, it seems to do like a big shake, as if it's in pain when it's roaring. All the tumors in its body are causing it significant pain, hence why we see it do this weird shake when it roars. That would have been fantastic to include in the movie, but we don't see that anyway. We don't build that emotional connection. It then started to get me thinking, is the D-Rex actually in pain, hence the reason for the tears? I mean, that would make sense, right? But then we're forgetting something crucial here. We only really ever see tears in humans, that level of emotion from pain. We very rarely see it in animals. Does this mean then that the D-Rex had a heightened level of intelligence from something?
That's what I'm going to. I mean, they mutated a human,
from something else.
I'm calling it.
We know that during Jurassic World, the raptors featured there are highly intelligent, even in Jurassic Park.
Raptors
problem-solving intelligence, as
smart.
Robert Muldoon says. Could it be that they experimented on this D-Rex with other cloning technology? Let's look at this rebirth.
I think humans are somewhat
in
involved.
There, we see several
They're obviously
other
making it, but
species,
involved in the DNA.
Mutants themselves. At this point, though, we know they've perfected genomes of several dinosaurs.
What if they did a C-section? They took out from the womb the baby before it's even fully developed, and then they injected some sort of the DNA mixture for the D-Rex, and that baby mutated to become what the D-Rex is. That would be messed up and disgusting, and damn, that is a crazy thought. Why do I have to say that?
Jurassic World, so they're not making dinosaurs as such,
took a
and these
fetus
dinosaurs are
and they
mutated
mutated
going
it.
into something else.
Indian
That's
messed up
completely false.
bastards.
They also have the Scorpius Rex in 2009. I think these dinosaurs were the first attempts at hybrid technology before the Indominus. This is what the D-Rex basically was. Regardless what they say, oh, it's a mutant, it's that, it's this, it's clearly not. Just following the timeline alone will give you that information. You don't need to say it anymore. Which brings me back to why it was crying in the first place. You see, they never terminated the D-Rex. They decided to keep it around for further experimentation into their hybrid projects, which are coming up in Jurassic World.
I mean, maybe, again, sorry I'm pausing again. First of all, maybe it did have a higher intelligence, but because of that, whatever siblings it might have had, it lost while it was growing up, or something happened with the siblings that engrossed in its memory some sort of traumatic experience that just stayed with it until it grew up. And now it's just like remembering the family it used to have. I don't know.
Think back
There's
to
so
the
many
flashback scene in
possibilities.
2010.
I've got
Indominus
no
escapes
idea.
in 2015. So
But it's nice
between
making
that 5-year
speculations,
gap,
thinking
they
what
were
it could be,
probably
narrowing it
planning
down
on
to
using
something
this
that could
D-Rex
be.
for further experimentation. You see, for it to grow to the size it was already at in 2010, it was likely around a good few years prior to that.
Yeah, no,
and
there's
you can
definitely
only
not 5 years.
imagine the type of torture and suffering and experiments it underwent in that lab. All we know of its genetic makeup is that the base genome is a T-Rex. You can literally
for
see
sure.
that. But everything else seems to be one
that's
giant
so
tumor. Them
huge.
tumors wrapping around
Imagine
the
this
bones,
is a
the
kaiju.
muscles,
Damn.
causing excruciating
That is basically
pain. Not to
Methuselah.
mention all the scientists probably
But less
injecting
rocky.
it with God knows what into
And it
a
doesn't have
system, causing
fluid
even
head.
further pain. Experimental drugs, experimental DNA, human DNA potentially.
That's
Because
what I'm
let's
thinking,
face it,
human
it's
DNA.
eventually going to go down that route. We know the military were involved in this island. Wait, Shadows, how were the military involved? Well, I did a full breakdown on one of my other videos, but just to get to the chase really
dinosaur
quickly,
genetic
we
soldiers.
know
I remember
a
that was a
military
thing.
helicopter is seen in the trees. Why was a military helicopter on this island?
That is
We know
true.
Masrani
Obviously, when I watched the
Global
movie, I
had
didn't know
a
that. I'm not in America,
military
so I have no
division,
idea.
the InGen Security Division. They were probably developing military technology, weapons. We already know Hoskins during Jurassic World wanted to militarize dinosaurs. The chances are this research base in 2010 was probably doing just that, finding ways and applications to use these dinosaurs, this gene technology, for military applications. Hence why the military was probably involved. They were probably their highest investor. Coupled with all the other experimental dinosaurs we didn't even see in the lab. We've seen the Mutadons. Are you telling me there's just that? No other experimental dinosaurs? We obviously seen all the other ones in the tubes, the baby ones, which didn't make it. But I'm pretty sure a facility of that size will house several different types of experiments and dinosaurs. Which brings me back to the D-Rex. I know you're probably thinking by now the D-Rex's tears were caused by pain because of all the genetic mutation, the tumors. I believe that a factor, yes. But again, you'd also need a level of intelligence to see
his head is full of
tears.
fluid. Maybe
I mean,
it's
we like to
somehow
think
bring out
every
the eye.
animal feels the same level of emotion as us, but it just doesn't happen out in the wild. You see a gazelle getting attacked by a lion, you don't see it crying, do you? It just doesn't happen. Unless you're Blue in Fallen Kingdom. I'm not going to let that go. But here's the thing. I do believe the D-Rex
I love Blue.
has a level of intelligence. This is why it stays around the center of the island. We don't see it anywhere else on the island apart from the center, the lab.
I actually
in
didn't
fact,
think about
the
that.
first time we get a glimpse of it after the fall in 2010
That's-
is literally
that's in
in its
the-
original enclosure. It
That was
walks by
literally what I
the
was about
door.
to say,
There's
but
a
I couldn't think of
reason
the
it's
words.
staying so close to the center of the island. We know it's drawn to light. So it could be staying
That
in the
is a fact.
center of the island because it has lights there. It associates
Afraid
the
of
lights
the dark?
with food, warmth, safety, home. But what happens if we flip
Home.
this on the head? I mean, what if the tears didn't actually come from pain, but came from being overly sensitive to the light source? Let's say it's not physically attracted to the light, it just wants to remove the source of the light. Hence why it's always drawn to it, to douse it out. It does exactly the same thing with the car, does the same thing with the flare. And that's when we actually see the tears, when the lights of the car are flashing directly in the D-Rex's eyes. Sure, it's bright, so you could say that the lights flashing in his eyes literally would make his eyes water. But yes, photosensitive, coupled with the fact that it's probably intelligent to some degree, either to the mixture of the genomes, experimentation, them injecting it with human DNA to see how that reacts.
Rex's eyes look like
them injecting it with human DNA to see how that reacts, potentially causing the mutation in the first place. But let's bring it back for a second, back to the very start. The entire purpose of this animal, just like Gareth Edwards said, was to make you feel sorry for the animal. So thinking of that, thinking of the tears, what would make you feel sorry for this animal? that is in pain. It can't do anything about its situation. It didn't ask
I
to.
mean, there was nothing in the film that actually made us not feel sorry for it. There's nothing that made us feel anything against it, because I mean, it didn't go out of its way to kill somebody. I mean, sure, the guy got trapped in there, and obviously, but that's just pure instinct, I would think. But I mean, it was made by humans, so like, of course, there's gonna be some sort of hatred towards them, because they didn't want to be alive. They don't want to be the way it is, but it's here because of them. So that it harbors like some sort of hatred towards them, and then whatever it did to them is just, you know, it's an animal. But I mean, I liked it. It was really cool.
Be where it was.
I just hope to see more of it.
Hurt numerous times, and to top it all off, it's actually
And yes,
photosensitive.
also the potential factor that they got tons of experiments done to it could be could harbor major resentment to humans because of everything it might have gone through. Because we don't know.
To the light. It wants to be rid of it, and then it's constantly being chased, harassed, shined light in its eyes. These humans have come into its habitat, and this is how we are treating it. I mean, it's the only one of its species.
All us gamers staying inside too long, going outside, can't see shit.
How would you feel? I'm pretty sure you'd feel a little bit sad as well.
I'd be pissed.
It's been left abandoned, forgotten about on this island for nearly
and alone
2 decades. And then when people do show up, they just want to kill it. I'd be pretty upset too. Coupled with all the tumorous and cancer growths all over his body, it's got a horrible life. And for me, that's the real reason
I don't know if it is cancer,
and you probably read all the hate comments about it online and on my
gross.
videos. So make sure you hit that like button and subscribe, because that will really cheer the D-Rex up. Do it right now. Go on. There you go. He's already got a smile on his face. But there's one thing which I totally missed in this video, and that is, how did the D-Rex actually escape its initial enclosure? We know that both doors were locked after it ate that man.
I think it's the same
and
as
not only
Jurassic
that,
Park.
what bit and ripped the Dunkleosaurus in half? All these videos and the answers are on my channel. Go and watch them.
Wait, was this the movie? What the hell did I watch? Huh? I know I watched it, but what the heck is this?
All these videos and...
Did I just miss this? Did I just do a full blank and just not see this? What the heck? I mean, it's been like over a month now since I've watched it, but shit. I don't remember those.
And the answers are on my channel.
That's cool.
Go and watch them now. Massive thanks to the InGen security team, which are on screen now. DVM Wannabe 1018, Hammer Time, and Lily. And let's not forget our Jurassic CEO, Joseph Frost Ghost. Thanks, guys. And if you came across the D-Rex out in the open, could your day go any worse? You bet Jurassic can. Catch you later.
Jurassic can. That's a good one. Okay. The poor D-Rex. Damn. It's lots of things that it could have been through, but we don't know. Maybe it'll open up in the next film that they make. Hopefully they do make another one. They'll probably open up more about it, show more about it. This first film was just an introduction to it, showing, okay, we want to introduce new things into the franchise. We want to see, this is a test, see how people feel about it, how they react to it. And if it's positive, then it's like a green light. Go ahead, we can make more, people be happy with what we make. So hopefully we're going to get a lot more information about this guy, and honestly the Mutadons as well, because they're freaking cool. They were cool. But yeah, anyways, let me know your thoughts down below, what you guys think caused that tear to drop, that waterfall. And yeah, go check out Shadows, sorry. Give some support, some love, subscribe here by me if you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.